Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Let's look at what we're dealing with today. It's 29th of January. So we see two signs here for our moon sign, Capricorn and Pisces, earth sign and water sign. Earth, practicality, the combination of the fire, the water, the air, represents the earth, the form, the physical manifestation of things. Capricorn is also perseverance. It's the material world, material things. And tarot card is the card of the devil, telling us we need to look past the illusions, which means we have to look past the physical world to see what's beyond it. We're moving from the Capricorn into Pisces, which is a water sign, all full of emotions. Lots of emotions. Pisces is the fish that swim both directions. The challenge is to get the fish to swim in one direction so they're not pulling in opposites or going from one extreme to the other at the drop of an emotion. So we've got a change going on today. It won't be until this evening, 10:33 p.m. Pacific time, when we actually do make that transition. So throughout today, we're in that transitioning phase from one moon sign to the next. Sun sign is still the same, Aquarius. And we have a aspect between Capricorn and Mars taking place in just a couple hours, 10:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's a lesson, some sort of square that we need to get past with our energy, the way we use our energy. Okay. So moving on from there, let's look at our says Jupiter this month turns the winter triangle into a brighter, bigger winter diamond. Its bottom is Sirius. Its two side corners are Betelgeuse and Procyon. And Jupiter forms its top. The diamond tilts leftward in early evening and stands vertically in the south around 10 p.m. So as you're looking in the sky, this is what you will see tonight. All right? It says looking southeast. Our current moon phase is almost to that new moon again. We could see just a sliver, 2%, and then we're there. Over at the Mayan Oracle, today's a 13-tone day. 13 tones are called the cosmic tones. The monkey is the symbol for today. The guide is the eagle. So it's the cosmic monkey guided by the eagle. We're in the last day of the wave spell, so we're getting ready to jump off of this wave spell. So we've gone the whole distance, 13 days now, of this wave spell, the theme of the storm, which is all about gathering energy. So we've gathered our energy, and now we're going to jump off with the playfulness of the monkey. Okay, and we're going to jump to the next wave spell. The monkey's symbol number 11. Means the next symbol number 12 is the beginning of the new wave spell. So the next one will be the human. That's the next in order. The phrase for today is I endure in order to play transcending illusion. I seal the process of magic with the cosmic tone of presence. I am guided by the power of vision. And let's look at our 5 con is the long count, and the hob, 2 pox. Alright, moving on from there. Space weather, solar wind, 439.7 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is in the 2s, so we've got a little activity, not very much, just a little bit. Not really any corona holes, this little bitty one up here, and a sliver right there. Otherwise, nothing much else. M-class flare has jumped up again, 60%, 10% higher than it was yesterday. X-class is doubled also, went from 5 to 10. We could see our geomagnetic storm activity is up, so the sun is becoming active. We'll just see how that unfolds. All right, and that brings us to our numerology for today. So today is the 29th. So we're going to add up. January is a 1, 2, and 9. So we got 9, 11, 12. So 12 when we add up to January and the date. Okay, January is 1. The date is the 2-9. So you add up the 1 plus the 2 plus the 9 equals 12. And then the year 2014 is a 7. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 equals 7. So we have the 7, and then we have the 12, and that equals 19. So the number for today is 19, but we're always going to reduce those numbers down. It's called theosophic subtraction. We're always going to reduce them down. So 19 becomes a 10. 9 plus 1 is 10, and 10 becomes a 1. So today is a one-tone day. That is the numerology for today. So let's look at the 1. This is over at numerology.com. And to access all of these, right up here at the top, you can see here's all the numbers. Okay, 1 through 9, and then 3 master numbers. So, number 1, the positive characteristics: individualistic and independent, showing leadership and drive. The 1 is masculine, focused, an originator, and self-starter. It is also progressive, strong-willed, courageous, self-reliant, and rebellious in a constructive way. The negative aspects is 1 can be stubborn, selfish, weak, and undisciplined, or a pariah. Okay, and these are some other terms associated with it: primal force, all-knowing, creative child, laying the foundation. Okay, it's associated in tarot with Mercury, the magician. All right, so number 1 is all about focus, all about gathering that energy. And so the way we want to use all of these is, remember, wheels within wheels within wheels. We're living in a system, in a world that has an energetic involvement. There's an energy field that we move in every single day, and our objective is to try to understand that energy field as best as possible. And there's lots of different ways to look at it. There's the natural energy field that is coming from the universe, and then there's the energy field from the thought forms of what we've created here down on Earth. And these two things combine, and as they combine, then we have to find the ways to make them all work together so that we can move harmoniously through the whole system. So by looking at the astrology, it helps us to understand an aspect of what's going on. By looking at the numerology, it also helps us to understand another element of the energy. And if we look at all of these cycles within the cycles within the cycles, we start to find that there is a meaning to all of them. It doesn't all seem apparent, because when you look at all the cycles, you can say, it's just random here. There's numerology, there's this, and astrology. You know, they all have different meanings, it so seems, and you wonder how to put them together. But I guarantee you, if you start looking at all of these bits of information and you start putting it together and just looking at how your life is affected every day, and then look at what we're talking about, look at the astrology, look at the numbers, and start tying it together, you'll understand how it works. Okay? So let's move on from there. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Whole bunch of stories today. The first one is: an object falls from space over Dillon, Montana. That just happened on the 23rd. Unless, of course, we added some extra days to the month and it was January 223. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a typo. We got a fireball or some object. There it is right there. A Dillon resident saw a huge fireball in the sky just before 8 a.m. Tuesday. Ruth Jackson of Dillon spoke to NBC Montana over the phone and says that she had no idea what she was looking at, so she pulled over to take a photo. We were driving east on Helena Street in Dillon. Sun hadn't come up yet, but there was this bright thing in the sky, and I said to my husband, "What is that?" She was a passenger car along with her husband and 2 granddaughters. They're on their way to drop the girls off at school when they stop to take the picture. I'm always looking for something to take a picture of, but this was just something awesome. And there's a little supporting video down here showing the news report that was done. Okay. All right. So very interesting. Let's listen to what she has to say. Let me pull this up here in her own words.
Oh. The sun hadn't come up yet, but there was this bright thing in the sky, and I said to my husband, "What is that?"
Ruth Jackson was with her husband and 2 granddaughters Tuesday morning, taking the girls to school. She's the one who snapped these pictures.
Whoa, what is that? And so the granddaughters were, they were pretty excited about it.
Jackson first shared this photo with us on our Facebook page. We then shared it with you Wednesday morning. So far, hundreds of people have liked and shared the photos, but no one had a definitive answer on what it could be. That's when I decided to contact the Montana Space Grain Consortium at Montana State University.
When I saw it first, the first thing that came to mind is that there was something falling through the air that was on fire.
That is Angela Desjardins, the director of Montana Space Grant Consortium in Bozeman. We took the photos to her to try to get some answers.
So it looks like it's pretty high up in the sky.
She tells us with so little information, it is hard to pinpoint what exactly this could be, but can rule out a few possibilities.
You can put to rest that there is any aliens or anything like that. And I'm not the biggest expert on meteors, but I think we could probably pretty safely say it wasn't a meteor.
Desjardins tells us photos are sent to the Space Consortium all the time, but she has never seen a photo like this.
I mean, I can see why this is capturing folks' imagination and why they really wanted to take pictures of it, because I think that is pretty rare.
In the end, she gave us her best guess.
I would say something that was flying around, that someone was flying around, caught fire.
And for Jackson, she tells us she is happy she stopped to snap this picture.
Yeah, I guess I'm always looking for something, to take a picture of, but it was just awesome.
Telling me she will definitely be looking up more often. Reporting in Bozeman, Jordan Moore, NBC Montana.
Okay. Shh. Something just caught fire in the sky. Pay no attention to it. As she said, there's no extraterrestrials on there, because she obviously knew. No, I'm not thinking there's extraterrestrials on there either. A big fireball, but it's always funny when there's this sense of certainty of what it isn't. And they laugh. One day, they won't be laughing when they meet these extraterrestrials face to face. They'll say, "Oh, you're real, and you don't want to eat us. That's good." Okay, moving right along here. This next one here, moon-like UFO over Sacramento, California baffles weather reporters. All right, this one was something that I showed you the other day. There's another report on it. Here's our image. It says we are back. It's a celestial rock. It is a celestial rock in space, if you will. Dirk, what is it? Is it a planet? Is it the milling, or have we been searching for the newsroom to find out? That is interesting. Is it the moon? I don't know. Well, these reporters apparently are confused. Let me go over here and just zip through some of this.
Dirk, what is it? We're all like, it's a planet? Is it the moon?
Actually,
what is it?
We've been searching, trying to find you in the newsroom, because we know you know.
Ask Dirk, what is it?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, is it the moon? I don't know. You'd have to back up. I'd have to be outside to really see, but that looks like a point of light. And if it's close to the sun, where the sun's coming up, then more than likely that's... I can't believe that we could see Venus that close.
But it is a planet, right? Because it's not twinkling, or is that a myth?
No, I would say that that's a planet, yeah, but
it's Saturn.
It's hard.
Okay, Tamara wants in on this one. She's been Googling.
No, that can't be Saturn unless there's an eclipse going on. No, because you don't see Saturn with a chunk taken out of it.
Maybe that's the lens on.
You only see the moon that have a chunk like that, and the only other planet that I know of that you see a chunk taken out of it like that would be Venus. Because it's on the inside planet. Saturn and Jupiter, they're all outside planets.
Right. And this,
Earth,
friends,
so
is what it's like when you stop by the weather department at any moment.
Okay, so you can see even they don't know. And that's how it's going to be. They're going to be more baffled scientists because imagine going through life and you closed-minded believing such things don't exist, and then suddenly there they are. It's going to be quite eye-opening. Quite eye-opening. All right, here up by the ISS, we have some other objects. Question here, you can just follow the little arrow down there. He's talking about this little light that zips down. I've been trying to edit the video but cannot seem to make that first firefly more visible, so here it is raw. You can jump to the 40-second mark and see them, but you will have to view it several times because they are gone in a few seconds. They sparkle while traveling down. Best if you can watch full screen. Okay. It says during the Mercury 7 mission back in 1959, astronaut Scott Carpenter says sunrise. Ah, beautiful lighted fireflies that time. It was luminous that time, but it's only okay. They're all right. I have, if anybody needs, I have the fireflies. They are very bright. They are capsule emanating. I can wrap the hatch and stir off hundreds of them. Wrap the side of the capsule. Huge streams come out. Some appear to glow. Let me yaw around the other way. Okay, so very interesting what they were experiencing out there. Okay, moving on. This is over San Antonio, Texas on the 26th. Witness reports orbs were captured on video traveling high in altitude over San Antonio. Okay, so there's our object in question. San Antonio UFO, Texas. Alright, here we go. These are the object in question right there. Okay, pretty interesting. Looks like, I don't know, two objects together. Two lights on an object, perhaps. There it is. Pretty cool. Alright, that's over San Antonio. Moving along. Proof of ancient aliens discovered in Iraq museum. I found this guy, let's call him Zort, on some pottery at the National Museum of Iraq. Due to some looting and the place being a general mess, the jar was marked 4 to 6,000 BC, and they left it at that. Now I know what artwork was back then, and now I know the artwork back then wasn't exactly realistic, but seriously, WTF? They drew what they knew, and this doesn't look human. I don't care what your Uncle Bubba says. But it makes sense. Think about it. Iraq is the birthplace of the Old Testament, the Garden of Eden, the Ziggurat of Ur, Babylon, etc. And how the heck did humans all of a sudden learn how to build all these things? Aliens, that's how. Okay. Let's look closer at Zort. Large, bulging eyes. Check. Weird, wiggly arms. Check. No hair. Check. More than 5 fingers, or is that less? Check. No lips. Check. Weird, elongated body. Check. Therefore, Zorx is an alien. Okay, fine. I'm not nuts. Nor am I a faithful watcher of the New History Channel. I'm just saying there's something weird, unexplained art in the National Museum of Iraq in Baghdad. Okay, so that is pretty interesting. And what is it exactly that they were using as a model when they made this? Just out of their memories, their imaginations? Very interesting indeed. Let's move on. This is a picture taken in Florida. You obviously see something up there in the clouds. Well-defined UFO picture taken in Florida. An Orlando, Florida witness reports a possible UFO captured on a digital camera after shooting a series of sky images from the World Center Marriott Resort, according to January 27, 2014. The witness only noticed a curving, brightening light in the clouds while taking a series of these images in a panorama style. Thought it was a direct contrail and only noticed the odd photo days later on the computer. Okay, very interesting indeed. And very last story today, UFO related. World's biggest UFO and extraterrestrial conference will be held in Arizona. And this one is coming up. Fountain Hills Fort McDonald Resort and Casino in Arizona is expected to be filled with UFO enthusiasts and open-minded people from February 12th through the 16th, 2014, as Open Minds Production chooses the place to be the venue of the 2014 International UFO Congress, which is the biggest annual event in extraterrestrial life and UFOs in the world. The event will feature over 20 speakers and a variety of exhibitors from various parts of the U.S. and cover everything related to UFO phenomena, including black projects, sightings, technology, alien visitation, government cover-ups, exopolitics, space, among other things. Invited speakers are real seasoned professionals, and everyone is encouraged to join and know more about what might be the greatest mysteries of the human race. Among the notable speakers are former NASA astrobiologist Richard Hoover, journalist and television host Aaron Sagers, and former colonel and non-lethal weapons expert Dr. John Alexander. Researchers, authors, experiencers, and television personalities will do the panel presentations on alien abductions, government cover-up, and science in search for alien life. This will also provide a chance for the audience to talk with the speakers and ask questions or clarifications. According to the conference co-organizer, Maureen Ellsbury, we've got diverse speakers and personalities this year that will surely get the interest of the general public and space enthusiasts. Going deep about UFO phenomena may give some answers to what's been considered as one of the greatest mysteries of our time. Another major event to consider will be the Night Vision Skywatch on the 14th of February, which will be held by Sci-Fi's Fact or Faked investigator Bill Hansen. Some of the latest military-grade technologies will be provided by Night Optics USA. Night Vision Ops will be having a booth in the vendor room. The Skywatch Vendor Room and Film Festival are free and open to the public. Arizona students will get a 40% discount for the conference when they present a valid student identification at the door. All right, and that is our UFO news for today. I'll be back. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
So I want to continue with a piece that I started the other day. It has to do with the Grammy Awards. This comes to us from the Vigilant Citizen. And underneath they have this slogan, "Symbols rule the world, not words nor laws." And that's actually very insightful, very important, because symbols are everywhere. And symbols can be seen in many, many ancient sites. We have hieroglyphics. We know the symbols of all the different secret societies that are out there, on and on and on. So the 2014 Grammy Awards still pushing its Illuminati agenda. 2014 Grammy Awards featured a black magic witchcraft ritual disguised as a Katy Perry performance. Surprised? Shouldn't be. This has been going on for years. We'll look at the Illuminati agenda pushed in the 2014 Grammy Awards. This year's Grammy Awards apparently had something for everyone. While old school rockers might have enjoyed seeing Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Willie Nelson, and Metallica performing live, it is the current industry puppets who reach the youth, and it is their performance that are riddled with symbolism and messages. Like old singers, the performers given by Beyoncé, Katy Perry, and even Macklemore were not strictly about the music. Their performances were a vehicle to push the Illuminati-sponsored agenda. For years, I've been stating that the music awards ceremony are a celebration of what the Illuminati industry stands for, as their choreographed format offers the industry an opportunity to imprint the collective mind with specific messages and symbolism. After each awards season, I notice a growing number of people realizing that something is off with the music industry and it promotes a specific set of values and attitudes. Is the public getting wiser, or is it just becoming too obvious to ignore? Whether the case may be shown, the show prompted people such as former University of Alabama quarterback A.J. McCarron to tweet, "Is it just me, or are some of the Grammy performances so far seem to be really demonic? Looks like there is a lot of evil in the world." We have another one here. Did we just witness actual witchcraft during Katy Perry's performance? And then you go down here, and a lot more to it. Okay, there's the witchcraft. Katy Perry. The most blatant part of the awards was undoubtedly Katy Perry's performance, which was so blatant it even caused many non-aware viewers to be disturbed by the satanic undertones. The performance began with a sinister voice saying she cast spells from crystal balls, invoking spirits. Inside the crystal ball, Katy sings while 4 horn-like demons rise above her. Katy gets out of the crystal ball, moves around with her backup dancers, remotely controlling them as if they were under a spell. The chorus of the song basically reflects what happens to those accepting dark pacts, not unlike most of the successful industry who are in the audience. Okay, and it's just kind of a warning. I'm not going to repeat these words. And Katy apparently summons a dark horse. It is a reference to the dark horse of the apocalypse. There we see the dark horse right there. So, it's right in front of you, folks. It's right in front of you. Putting it out in front of your faces. Here, an actual witchcraft ceremony took place on television. You watched it. And what's amazing is this woman, this Katy Perry, used to be a Christian singer. Brought up, I believe her father is a minister or something to that effect. And now she's completely gone the opposite side of that. And she's actually spoken how she sold her soul for the devil. And here she is. And people are saying, what is she doing? A witchcraft ceremony on stage? And most likely that's probably what it was. These things happen all the time. And it's very, very strong in the entertainment industry. Very, very strong. All right. Let's jump over to Atlantis. Atlantis. I'm not talking about the new resort. I'm talking about the lost civilization. This is a site here. It says The Lost History of Man is the name of this site. talc.site88.net. All right. Says the highly influential ancient Greek philosopher Plato wrote in the year 360 BC about Atlantis in his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. In these dialogues, it was told by the character Critias that his grandfather heard about the story of Atlantis hundreds of years ago from Solon, a well-known Atlantean poet and politician. Solon heard about the story from his stay in Egypt in 565 BC. The name Atlantis, and also other names mentioned in regards to Atlantis, is actually a Greek translation of an Egyptian name to maintain the original meaning of the actual name. Because the Egyptian name would also have been a translation to the ancient Egyptian language, it is, however, unknown by which name Atlantis would have been known by the ancient Egyptians. Plato's dialogue tells us that before the advanced Greek civilization called Atlantis was a huge island that was larger than the former Libya, North Africa, and Asia Minor put together. Plato's account is regarded by many as the most credible account of a possible ancient lost civilization. Here's the quoted from Plato's Timaeus. Now in the island of Atlantis there was a great and wonderful empire, which had rule over the whole island and several others, and over parts of the continent, and furthermore the men of Atlantis had subjected the parts of Libya within the columns of Heracles as far as Egypt, and Europe as far as Tithynia, which is today Etruria. Atlantis was situated beyond the columns of Heracles, also known as the pillars or the columns of Hercules, and is known today as the Strait of Gibraltar. If one travels from the Mediterranean Sea beyond the Strait of Gibraltar, one will find themselves within the vast Atlantic Ocean. For generations, its people lived virtuous lives until greed and power began to corrupt them. The final destruction of Atlantis happened some 9,500 years before Plato's time, when the land disappeared into the depths of the sea due to violent earthquakes and floods. The dialogue Timaeus mentioned that during Plato's time there was an impassable and impenetrable shoal of mud in these parts of the sea that was considered by the subscience of the island. There are many scholars today who believe that Plato's story about Atlantis was merely a fictional account, a possible metaphor, because there is no known land or civilization which fits its descriptions. However, both dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, seem to implicate a purely historical account with so much detail that would be quite unnecessary for merely a metaphor. In the dialogue Critias, Plato also wrote that Atlantis was founded by Poseidon, known in Greek mythology as the god of the sea, who did fall in love with a mortal woman named Cleito. Cleito gave birth to 5 sets of twin boys, and the domain was divided amongst them. The eldest, named Atlas, became the first king of Atlantis. In Greek mythology, Atlas was the bearer of the heavens. In Greek historian Herodotus mentioned that Atlas was in fact a lofty mountain that by the Atlantean natives was seen as the pillar of heaven. After this, at a distance of 10 days' journey, there is still another salt and spring of water, and men dwell round it. Near this salt hill is a mountain named Atlas, which is small in circuit and round on every side, and so exceedingly lofty, it is said to be, that it is not possible to see its summits, for clouds never leave them either in the summer or in the winter. This, the natives say, is the pillar of heaven. After this mountain these men got their name, for they are called Atlanteans, and it is said that they neither eat anything that has life nor have any dreams. Poseidon had his own temple within the citadel of the Atlantis city. Its exterior was entirely covered with silver and its pinnacles with gold, and the interior of the temple was of ivory, gold, silver, and an unknown material called orchelach, which shone like fire, even to the pillars in the floor. The temple contained a colossal statue of Poseidon standing in a chariot drawn by 6 winged horses, about him 100 Nereids riding on dolphins. Arranged outside the buildings were golden statues of the first 10 kings and their wives. Because of the excessive use of the noble metals within the large construction, the description of the Temple of Poseidon seems similar to the description of Valhalla from Norse mythology, which had been described by the poetic Edda as appearing shiny and golden. According to the Vikings, Valhalla was the domain of the god Odin and the king of heaven for the slain soldiers which were brought to him by the Valkyries, which are Odin's warrior maiden. It seemed that the mythologic place Asgard, the residence of the god, was in fact Atlantis city as described by Plato. It is also reminiscent of the temple of the Lord as described in the apocryphic book, the Book of Enoch. In chapters 14:8 to 23 of the book, the temple is described as an interior and a floor made out of crystal stones, and a roof appeared like agitated stars and flashes of lightning, where a flame burned around its walls, and where its portal blazed with fire. Perhaps this wasn't real fire, but merely the reddish shimmering of the material auriculum. As Plato mentioned in his dialogues, that one was already familiar with the god Poseidon during the Atlantean times, it probably means that the origins of the Greek mythology were much older than the Greek civilization itself as we know it today, and therefore it could be traced back to the age of Atlantis. Could it be these origins of Greek mythology, these testimonies from Atlantis, could have been spread to other parts of the world where it passed on, from where it ultimately took the form of the Greek, Norse, and ancient Mesopotamian mythologies? On the island Santorini, classically named Thera, which like Crete was part of the Greek archipelago, there would have been a devastating earthquake and a volcanic eruption around 1628 BC. Although some think Plato described the demise of that island, he explicitly mentioned that Atlantis was situated past the columns of Heracles, which marks the beginning of the Atlantic Ocean when sailing from Greece. Also, the period of demise of Santorini doesn't match the period of demise of Atlantis, which Plato mentioned. And here is the image of where he thinks Atlantis was. Okay, obviously you want to flip it around because America's over here and these continents over here. There's right smack dab in the middle of it there. Athenaeus Kircher from 1601 to 1680, a Renaissance man with very much like Leonardo da Vinci made a map based on Plato's descriptions in his book Mundus Subterraneus. All right, and here's another picture here showing where it was. So it's a big place. This map had been drawn in the year 1979 by writer and researcher Valis Pashos, founder of the Atlantis Museum in Athens. It is based on ancient data of, amongst others. Okay, and then here's another pattern from the sea. All right, so there's a lot to this article. And if you go up here, we've got links to different aspects of the cataclysms of what was going on there. But I think what we'll do is we'll cover some more of this next week. Okay, I want to continue on with the idea of these lost civilizations, and we'll use Wednesdays as a day to look at these things. All right. So we'll continue on some more next week with Atlantis, but kind of gives you an idea. And some of you out there, you may have memories going back to the Atlantean times. I know I certainly do, and some of you probably do as well. And which is why it seems to be so familiar. I think there's a lot of us down here who have memories of that time, and within that, there's the memories of a great disaster, which I think is why we have these ideas that we're going to have some sort of disaster in the future. It's a fear that was there from something that happened in the past. That's what I think. All right, moving on. Now, here's an interesting piece. Moon astronaut admits on deathbed Obama could be an alien. Anthony Irish Thompson, the last NASA astronaut to set foot on the moon, has deceased yesterday at St. Church Hospital in Chicago at the venerable age of 98. Before he died, the astronaut revealed top classified information that shocked his family, friends, and the whole NASA community. He was being operated for a tumor in his lung, but the operation was too much for the old man, explains his only son. He wouldn't take any painkillers. He wanted to stay awake during the whole operation, he recalls. It was just some moments later, when a lung was punctured, that the famous astronaut felt his life slowly fading away. He grabbed me by the hand and held my ear next to his mouth. He then told me about how Obama was not human, but a hybrid being, half human, half alien, he explains, still visibly under the shock of such a revelation. I never believed in aliens, but my dad went to the moon and worked for NASA all his life. He worked in Area 51 for more than 20 years. I don't know what to think, but I had to tell the world just in case it's true. It's not the first time a high-ranking official has accused Obama of possibly being an alien. Iran's Secret Service has also claimed a similar story since his election in 2008. So, something more, again, to the Obama story than what we're aware of. The plot thickens. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Albert Einstein College of Medicine. Here we have an article that says molecular basis of memory. Watching molecules morph into memories. Here we go. In two studies in the January 24th issue of Science, researchers at Albert Einstein College of Medicine in Yeshiva University used advanced imaging techniques to provide a window into the brain, how the brain makes memories. These insights into the molecular basis of memory were made possible by technological tour de force that has never been achieved in animals. A mouse model developed at Einstein in which molecules crucial to making memories were given fluorescent tags so they could be observed traveling in real time in brain cells. Efforts to discover how neurons making memories have long confronted a major roadblock. Neurons are extremely sensitive to any kind of disruption, and only by probing their innermost workings can scientists view the molecular processes that culminate memories. To peer deep into neurons without harming them, Einstein researchers developed a mouse model in which they fluorescently tagged all molecules of the messenger RNA that code for beta-actin protein, an essential structural protein found in large amounts in brain neurons and considered a key player in making memories. mRNA is a family of RNA molecules that copy DNA's genetic information and translate it into the proteins that make life possible. It's noteworthy that while we were able to develop this mouse without having to use an artificial gene or other interventions that might have been disrupted neurons and called our findings into question, said Robert Singer, Ph.D., the senior author of both papers and professor and co-chair of Einstein's Department of Anatomy and Structural Biology and co-director of the Gross Looper Biophotonics Center at Einstein. He also holds the Harold and Muriel Bloch Chair in Anatomy and Structural Biology at Einstein. So, you can see there's a lot more to this article here. But studies on the brain, studies on the mind, studies on watching memories, pretty fascinating. So we certainly are definitely making improvements in the worlds of science and what we're learning more and more. And just imagine what we're going to learn down the road, 10 years from now, where our learning is going to be. It's pretty amazing the way we're going now. All right, eyesight. This article certainly is of interest to me as I do wear these eyeglasses, and to any of you who are out there, this might interest you. Improve your eyesight naturally without glasses. Introducing interesting and a bit weird strategies how to see better right now. So take this eye exam test. Cover your eye with one hand and just go down the chart until you can't read the letters anymore. Okay. It says now take note of this, because after you read these tips and techniques to improve your eyesight, you're going to see dramatic improvements in mere minutes without the help of glasses, contacts, or laser surgery. Here's some surprising facts about the eyes. Did you know that your eyes are composed of more than 2 million working parts? The average person blinks 12 times per minute. That's more than 10,000 blinks on an average day. Color blindness is more common in males. In the most common type of color blindness, individuals have trouble telling the difference between red and green. The entire length of all eyelashes shed by a human in their life is over 98 feet. Now, the surprising dangers of corrective eyewear. More than 3 out of every 4 people around us wear some form of corrective lenses. Most choose contacts or glasses, but some choose the world's most elective surgery, refractive laser vision correction like LASIK. There's a massive cover-up surrounding laser vision correction. More than 1 out of every 5 LASIK procedures have major side effects such as stabbing eye pain, double vision, continuous dry eye, even blindness. There are dozens and dozens of products devoted to LASIK side effects like drops. But the worst part is the optometric industry threatens lawsuits on anyone exposing these scams. Only a brave few have revealed the true dangers. It says, are my eyes lucky? I'm 46 years old. I'm the only person my age that I personally know not wearing glasses. Or am I just lucky? One of my old clients revealed to me that glasses are a money scam. And he's an eye doctor. We all know glasses are a scam because each year eye doctor typically strengthens your prescription. That strength means your eyes are getting worse. It's not necessarily old age that makes eyesight deteriorate. The culprit is corrective lenses. Never forget that when we are sick, someone offers the promise of a solution for cash. But when we're totally healthy, doctors can't make their expensive car payments to keep up their lavish lifestyles. It's for this reason I'm my own doctor, and I search out safe alternative fixes for my ills. When your eyes are stressed, we lose sharp vision, and this affects our quality of life. Instead of making my eyes worse with corrective lenses, I invest less than 2 minutes each morning on eye yoga. This is 100% safe and effective. I'm not aware of any side effects. It's free, and everyone I know who has tried it reports amazing results. These are not eye-strengthening exercises because we're not building muscles. Instead, these gestures relieve our eye stress. The first few days didn't work so well for me. My eyes felt a bit weird, actually. But after 10 days or so, the results were amazing, and I was able to see both near and far alike like I did during my childhood without corrective lenses. All right, so here we have said I couldn't read the biggest letter on the chart, but after trying these eye exercises, Chris Kendall hasn't worn glasses in over 2 years and is close to having 20/20 vision without corrective lenses. All right, and here's what we've got. It says here's 4 gestures I use every morning, which I got from this video. Video's right here. I keep this simple and quick. Don't hang upside down or do palming. Instead, I do the following sitting in a chair. Okay, you do horizontal gazing. Place your hands out at each side with your thumbs pointing up. Your thumbs are merely for guidance. Keep your head still, looking straight up, and then look at your thumbs without moving your head. And slowly gaze in the opposite direction and check your other thumb. In between, pause and look straight ahead. Repeat this 5 times. Be sure to breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. Finish by closing your eyes 5 seconds and then regain focus. Okay, so you have your arms out like this. Your head still, look straight. Then look at one of your thumbs without moving your head, so just using your eyes. And then slowly gaze in the opposite direction of the other thumb. And in between, you stop in the middle, and then you go look the other way. Okay, that's one. Then we have diagonal gazing. Place one thumb pointing up, resting on your thigh, just like this, and your other thumb pointing up, positioned to the head level. Gaze first at your lower thumb, then at your upper thumb without moving your head. Do this for 5 times. Then you switch thumbs. So I'm going to put this thumb down here and this thumb up there. Be sure to breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. And then we have circle gazing. Make a circle with your thumb pointing in the left side of your body and slowly follow your thumb with your eyes. Make sure to keep your head and your steady and facing straight and breathe normal. Do this 5 times. Then repeat on your right side. Finish by closing your eyes for 10 seconds to regain focus. And then fart into your gazing. Place your thumb pointing up to the tip of your nose. Cross your eyes to focus the tip of your thumb, then slowly extend your arm to keep focused on your thumb. Again, breathe normal during these gestures. Then bring your thumb back to the tip of your nose. Finish by closing your eyes for 5 seconds to regain focus, and there you have it. 4 fast, easy eye gestures to help relax your eye muscles and help you see clear. And afterwards, let's take a look at this chart. Are you able to see more than before? If yes, congratulations. You're boosting your eye vision without corrective lenses or dangerous laser vision correction. Alright, so there's an exercise for you to do. I certainly am going to give it a try. See what happens. Yoga for the eyes. Alright, the link's available at firstcontactradio.com. Alright, here's a story about karma. We all hear about karma. Well, here's a story that kind of confirms karma. 1. It says, if you don't believe in karma, then check out these 6 stories and decide for yourself. We have in Bogota, Colombia, May 2013, a man grabbed the woman's phone at the bus stop. Wresting it from her hand, he turned to run and only got a couple steps before he was hit by a bus. The whole incident was caught on surveillance tape. Okay, then we have Ron Pointer dumped hundreds of gallons of toxic solvents in the 70s as a marine electronics technician at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. The chemicals seeped into the drinking water. The cancer that killed him in May 2013 was among diseases affecting Marines and local residents as a result of the toxins. He told the Associated Press before he died that he felt it was a retribution for his guilt. When Judgment Day comes, he said, I hope that those people that suffered realize that I didn't know what I was doing. Another one. I go through periods of insomnia, and I have stayed up through countless nights over the years. One such night, I went to 7-Eleven at like 6:30 a.m. On the way out, I see a homeless man. I go back in to buy him 2 microwave 7-Eleven hamburgers and heat them up. I give them the burgers and proceed to tropical smoothie, which opens at 7 a.m. I park the car, open the door, and look down, and what do I see? A fresh $20 on the white line of the parking lot. So that's cool. That's so cool, but this is the really crazy part. I come back out of tropical smoothie, and as I approach my car, what do I find? Another 20 in exactly the same spot. I checked my pocket. The first one was there. A glitch in the matrix? Here's another one. Trying to get something for free. One day I paid for one, but took 2 papers. As I walked off with both newspapers, I noticed that my shirt tail got stuck in the newspaper box. When I slammed it shut, I had to put in another 25 cents to get my shirt out. Today my son and I went to Walmart. Got a new game for his DS. When we got to the cash register, I noticed that woman in front of me was upset. Her card had been declined and she was purchasing formula. My son was fascinated with baby, so he was talking about the woman, about her little girl. He put the game down and handed his money and said, "Your baby needs food more than I need Plants vs. Zombies. My heart swelled at this, so I got the game anyway. Well, as we were walking out, a lady approached us and said that she saw what he did and gave him an envelope and said, "Open it when you get home." When we got home, there was a $100 bill and a note that said, "You deserve this, young man." And one more. At one point in my life, I sold furniture, and I was not good at it. It was a rough time in my life when I made maybe $1,000 a month and pretty much had nothing left for after rent and the few little bills I had. There were lots of times I didn't eat for days because I couldn't afford that much to eat. Any day, one day I'm trying to sell furniture and I'm selling nothing, and it was near the end of the day and I had made $0. An old couple comes in, was looking at TV stands. All of the sales reps avoid them because we know that they're going to take up a bunch of time and end up buying something for around $100, and then your commission is going to be $2. I look at them and I figure, well, if I can sell anything today, at least I won't get skunked, and maybe my luck will turn around after that. They ended up buying 2 stands, $6 commission for me, but asked how they would be put together. There was a service, and I could have referred to them for a fee, of course, but I said, "I'm off at 9 p.m. I could come. If you come pick me up, I'll come set up the stands for you for free." They took this offer, paid me for the furniture, and left. The other sales reps laughed at me. They laughed at me when my quitting time came around and I hadn't sold anything. The old couple picked me up at promptly 9 p.m. We got to the beautiful condo. I could smell food cooking, and they tried to ignore it. I hadn't eaten in about 3 days at that point, so it was hard. I worked for almost 3 hours straight until it was done. The old lady grabbed me and takes me to the kitchen. She seats me and pulls out a plate of freshly made roast beef that was better than any money. I was so grateful and thankful. I held back tears as I ate the delicious home-cooked meal she had prepared for me. The lady handed me an envelope after driving me home. I didn't open it, just thanked them. I happily went up to my apartment knowing that I was going to sleep with a stomach full that night and I would get to eat for the next few days. I was feeling great. I opened the envelope. There was a thank you card and $100. After that, for the rest of my life, I sold furniture. I always ran to the people, helped the people nobody else wanted to. I changed my focus from getting the big sale every day to getting all of the small ones nobody cared about, and it got me through until I got a better paying job. So those are 6 really good stories that show how karma does happen. Sometimes instant karma happens, and it's pretty amazing the way it all works. Pretty amazing. All right, that brings us to our channeled message for today. So let's jump over to this. Here we go.
Hilarian's Weekly Message.
January 26th to February 2nd, 2014.
Beloved ones, many of you will feel heat within your body as your physical bodies begin to activate your DNA-RNA codes. This can be a rather uncomfortable period for you, so it is important to stay well hydrated and well rested. Trust that all is well and that you are being cared for by your etheric guides as you go through this process. Listen to your guidance and do whatever is suggested. This process is the beginning of an accelerated transformation that will leave behind all former limitations. The past will fade away and dissolve as you learn to live in the present moment. This will facilitate a greater clarity of mind and an inner knowing that there has been a shift in your perceptions, and you will start to regain your divine abilities in whatever way is unique to you. We, your guides and team members, assist in many ways to help you on the next step of your journey. You are never alone, dear ones, for we walk with you during the intense and irreversible changes that are now beginning. You have come to this point because of your deep desire to fulfill the destiny that you have chosen as your contribution to the divine plan. This destiny is now beginning to unfold at greater speed, and you will marvel at how far you have come in a short space of time. The cells of your being are being regenerated and rejuvenated, and you will feel cyclic waves of energy come from within you which can cause periods of dizziness. Remain calm. Breathe deeply and stay in a state of peaceful allowance to the new sensations that fill and surround you. There is much recalibration that is taking place within your human operating system and your morphogenic field. This will probably scramble your meridian flows of energy temporarily, but will rebalance. You will have many episodes of sleepiness and drowsiness as you are attuned to ever higher frequencies as they come in. Look to the heavenly alignments as they herald the changes that are taking place upon and within your planet and within yourselves. All is moving at a faster rate and linear time is followed only because of the instruments and devices that have been created previously. It is a time to connect to the source within you on a regular basis in order that you receive the guidance that is needed and that you stay on track with your own divine timing. Everyone has their own inner clock, and this is now in the process of being finely tuned, so it is important to follow your intuitive promptings, as this is where true guidance flows through. All of life is awakening to levels of being that have been dormant for eons. Those who are attuned to the higher frequencies are in alignment with the many changes that are occurring, and as such provide the role of catalyst wherever they may go. As they move about their daily lives, they activate the awakening codes for the people around them, known or unknown. As conduits of the cosmic energies, these ones radiate this from their field of energy, and it touches everyone and ignites their own individual process. It is most important that these change agents stay balanced in their every thought, word, and deed, as this can have impact upon others around them. This is a great responsibility as one comes into awareness that you are in such a role upon the planet. Stay uplifted, balanced, and in a state of joy, as this helps to keep a harmonious balance to those energies that come forth through others as the cleansing process continues. This is your role as light beacons, and most of you have learned how to bring yourselves back into alignment quickly. Clear your energies each day before you venture out and again after you come home. Clear and balance each of your chakras so that your vital force is flowing unimpeded at all times. If thoughts appear in your consciousness that tend to bring your focus and energy down, learn to automatically change them to more life-enhancing and affirming ones. The days of owning your own power are now upon you. Until next week. I am Hyla Ryan.
Alright, very nice message. Alright, our affirmation for today. I believe in the loving presence that manifests through me and in everything around me. Okay, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. Take another deep breath. And exhale. I want you to consider the thought, I believe in a loving presence that manifests through me and in everything around me. I believe in a loving presence that manifests through me and in everything around me. And as we consider that loving presence, we begin to understand that this presence is everywhere. Everywhere, all at once. And though we may not understand the possibility of how that could be, we understand the miracle that it is. As we move through life, we imagine that our energy fields are being cleared. We understand that as we move through life on a daily basis, there's all sorts of energies around us that try to attach themselves to us. And so at the end of the day, just like taking a shower, we need to imagine ourselves washing off all of these residual ideas and thoughts and energies that have attached themselves that are not ours. And as we examine some of these, we realize the fears and the doubts that are put out in the world through the media, through the politicians, through the average people on the street who are listening to the stories. And we realize how these words of doubt and fear and negativity only tear down. And we know in our heart of hearts that words of love and peace and unity bring us together. So we imagine the words, the positive words that unite us, and we let go of the words that divide us. And we imagine ourselves in unity, all walking along the path of divinity. Let's imagine ourselves walking along, sending love and light into the world. Let's just imagine this love being sent all around the planet to each and every individual. And imagine feeling the love yourself. And let that be enough as you go into the world today. So just keep sending love and light out into the world as your unconscious mind continues on its journey of this day. And let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's our show for today. Thank you very much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. You have an awesome day, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.